Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave, and welcome to this next entry within the psychological series. Today, we'll be talking about a topic that has been brought up a lot of times recently. In fact, it's something that's quite bizarre. I feel like there's something in the water right now because a lot of people have been coming up and sending me messages, some along the lines of, "Hey man, I'm struggling with having motivation to actually learn this." And this is a great topic, not only because it applies to trading, but it applies to just about anything in life. And the topic of motivation being the primary driver of essentially what you are going towards. And motivation is a very fleeting and subjective emotion that we feel, and that is why I do believe that motivation is actually something that you don't even really want. Motivation comes and goes. It's dependent mostly on external factors. I mean, it could also just be dependent upon your day-to-day behaviors. Of course, if you're not going to get enough sleep, that's going to massively affect you, and you're probably not going to feel all that motivated to do anything, let alone trading. I mean, Jesus Christ, man, don't getting less than 8 hours of sleep tonight. Good luck with that, man. Good fucking luck with that. In fact, if I could offer just one massive quick fix to anything, get 8 hours of sleep per night, and you'll be amazed at how many problems it solves. So my point is that going back to the actual topic of this conversation, motivation, everyone's looking for this X factor of motivation. Well, motivation is something that is just fleeting. It is not something that you want to be basing your life's goals on, because it will come and go. And when it comes and goes, now you're no longer in control of what you actually want to do. So how do you actually focus down and really go towards whatever it is that you choose to do? In this context, trading, what you want is discipline. That is the resolution to this rant. Discipline is the answer. Discipline is what keeps you in the game. Discipline is what allows you to choose volitionally your own goals, your own true north, and then you can go towards it, cultivating discipline. And that's the beauty of it. You can cultivate it over time. Whereas motivation, it's like, what do? Do you just write more motivational quotes on the wall? It doesn't really help all that much. In fact, I would suggest tearing down all the motivational quotes off your wall, because at the end of the day, they don't drive you. They are just an external factor, which can help, yes, but can also hurt in the same point in time, because you'll be conditioned to only go towards what you want when you feel motivated, when you feel that emotion of motivation. Motivation, however, like we said before, the problem with it, you're not always in control of it. So when you're not feeling motivated, you won't put in the hours. You won't come down and sit at the desk and do the professional work. That is the problem with it. So at the end of the day, it is something that we really want. It's nice to have, but you shouldn't need it, is the problem. You shouldn't need it. When thinking of like a professional athlete, for example, do you think that they just go out and practice to get, like say Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan or fucking LeBron James? And there's probably gonna be some sort of massive fight in the comment section now because I brought those names up. It's like almost as bad as if you bring up politics. But do you think that those people would only practice when they're motivated? Fuck no, man. They're disciplined to the goddamn core. That's the whole point of it, is that they're practicing even when they don't want to. That gives them a leg up from the other people who are at the mercy of their emotional state, kind of governing their actions. Whereas those people, they choose their actions, and then that cultivates their discipline, drives their progress forwards, and they don't have to worry about motivation. They don't have to have motivation in order to have the discipline to actually do things. The discipline keeps them in the game. That's what gives them the experience and the iterations of that over time allow them to be, well, top of the game, right? And it goes the same for just about anything else. That's my whole point with this, is that you can apply this to just about any skill, learning anything in life essentially, and this is really no different in that sense. You want to have the discipline to choose what you want to do. In this case, trading, and then you say, what's good? What's this word over here? Nope, you don't say that, but basically, you want to choose what you want to do. In this case, trading. And then set up your daily activities to kind of surround that. And that's all coming from discipline, not motivation. You don't need more quotes on the wall to kind of drive that sort of behavior, because remember, that's, external to you. It comes and goes. You'll feel motivated some days. You'll feel unmotivated other days. Sometimes it's your own fault. Sometimes it's the environment's fault. It doesn't matter. The result is the same. And that is the big point. The result is the same, whether you feel, good about it or not. We want to be able to really cultivate discipline, because that's what separates you from the next person who is at the mercy of their emotions. Again, such an important concept, because most of this world is stuck in that emotional state where they're waiting for the motivation. How many times have you heard someone say, they're putting something off, whatever the fuck that they want to do, because they're not really feeling it at that moment in time? Well, it could just be that they need to get a good night of sleep. That could just be as simple as that. But because they didn't do it, they're not going to go forwards, and it actually becomes kind of a self reinforcement loop where you get into that sort of emotional state, and now you're driven by emotions. So it makes it very, 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 very difficult to have any sort of forwards progress. Discipline is what takes you out of that. Discipline is, again, and I can't stress this enough, it's something that you can actually build upon. Motivation, you can't really build upon motivation. How do you build upon motivation? Like we said before, maybe put up more motivational quotes, maybe listen to some more Tony Robbins as well, of which I'm a huge fan of Tony Robbins. I think he's great, man. But at the end of the day, he doesn't get the work done for you. He might get you a little bit psyched up, which might get you started. But hey, you're in charge. You're responsible. And that's what discipline always comes back to. It comes back to the responsibility, taking responsibility for doing what needs to be done, for doing the work that needs to be done. Because remember, the studies have shown that, when we're talking about high level, very, 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 very professional type athletes, typically they put in about 10,000 hours of work before they really master the skill, and this really goes across anything. There's some people who might disagree with that statistic out there, but at the end of the day, that's essentially what you're going to be competing against, because there will be other people putting the time in, and if they're putting the time and effort in, well, you got to be able to match that if you're going to compete with them, of course. And again, it's the iterations over that time frame that are going to give you the experience. And what is that all mediated by? Discipline. So I'm going to leave you off with that one. Or let's actually talk about how to cultivate discipline. How do you cultivate discipline? First things first, start a fucking life journal. Jesus Christ, man. Start a fucking life journal. Write down your goals. Write down your goals and prioritize those goals. What is your true north? What do you want to do? What the fuck do you want to do? It's like no one ever really thinks about this. It's so crazy. We are given this life, and it's quite complicated, and we have like no real manual on how to work this. It's like no one told you that you can do whatever the fuck you want to do. How the fuck do you start that though? Get a goddamn journal. Write in what is your true north. What the fuck are you trying to do? What do you want? What do you want in your life? After that, after you have your true north principle, then start to prioritize all of your daily actions so that it will lead you towards that. And there you go. It's so what's it called? It's so intuitive, but we never really think about these sorts of things because we get stuck in our own loops day to day. Once you have the priorities, once you have the true north, now is when you kind of insert discipline, right? Once you insert that, that's what allows that all to kind of live, and then of course take action, of course, after that. But now, once you can prioritize things, then you have something to go off of day to day, where you can just quickly and unequivocally go through all the different options and make sure and titrate exactly what you need to do during that day to get you closer and closer to what to your true north principles. And again, that is all mediated by discipline. So in order to cultivate discipline, it would be best to first define your true north principles, then prioritize, and then it's just taking action after that. And then you can trust that over time your discipline will grow. If you don't feel too disciplined right now, just by taking a little bit more action than you took yesterday, it will grow. I can tell you that out of experience. I can tell you that. Well, I'm sure anyone anyone can tell you that who's tried to learn something. It's just that simple. It's quite literally just as simple as applying those sorts of methods with understanding where your priorities are and then moving towards those, taking action towards those. That's what builds up discipline inside of you. Then you don't have to be reliant on motivation, and you can choose whatever the fuck you want to do. In this case, typically trading, but you can feel free to apply this sort of knowledge to anything that you want in life. Anyways, that's going to do it for right now. I do want to wish you well on this nice little psychological Saturday. And I'll be back on later with some more technical analysis. Take care and see you soon.